This energetic kid now finds himself facing a sentence that has stunned his fans. Behind the flashy rap persona, he was secretly running a criminal empire, one that ultimately led to his downfall. The truth behind his collapse is far darker than anyone expected, and we're about to break it all down. King's legal drama is unfolding, and it's nothing short of explosive. What's good, fam? Today we're diving deep into some real street drama that's been shaking the entire hip-hop community. We're talking about King Harris, T.I.'s son, and how this young star went from living in luxury to catching serious cases and even clashing with his own mom. But don't get it twisted. This isn't just another rich kid acting out type of story. This cuts deeper, touching on culture, struggle, and what happens when trying to keep it real goes completely wrong. Before we take you on this wild ride, let's be real for a second. The streets have been talking, and social media's been buzzing with wild rumors. King locked up for years, getting jumped in jail, and all kinds of crazy claims. But here, we're cutting through the noise. We're separating fact from fiction, truth from lies, because honestly, this young king's real story is already dramatic enough without the extra cap.
I'm kind, energetic, nice dude, man.
My name King, you know it, and your mama know it. On game what? On game what? Come here.
So, check it. October 14th, 2024. That's the date that flipped everything for King Harris. This young blood was rolling through Dawoodi, Georgia, probably thinking he was just living his best life, when boom, he almost clipped a police cruiser pulling out of a gas station. The cop hit him with a stop for failure to yield, smelled marijuana, and spotted a firearm on Harris's hip. Now hold up, before you'll think this was some targeted harassment. Nah. The boy stayed cool from the jump. No drama, no resistance, just straight up caught slipping. But here's where it gets real spicy. When the officer ran his info, turns out King had an active bench warrant out of Pickens County. That warrant tied back to August 2022 charges: speeding, driving on a suspended license, and DUI on drugs. Basically, this young King had been ducking court dates for 2 whole years, hoping the streets would forget his business. But that's not how the game works, homie. The whole scene went down like this. Cops smelled marijuana, spotted the piece on his hip, and during a search, found 2 small baggies of weed. And we know in the hood, stops like this can turn ugly real fast. But King? He kept it calm. The officer disarmed him without issues, cuffed him, and that was that. Real recognize real. No fake tough act. No wild move to make it worse. But here's the deeper part. This wasn't just another rich kid catching a case. King has been out here trying to prove he ain't just a spoiled brat living off his daddy's name. He's been claiming the streets, saying he stand on business, trying to show he's really about that life. He even talked about his ties to Atlanta street culture, saying he spent real time with his grandmother in rough neighborhoods, just to experience life beyond the luxury. Now here's where it got messy, the family dynamics. While King sat in DeKalb County Jail waiting transfer to Pickens, his mom, Tiny Harris, went live on social media calling him out. She straight up said, "He ain't got good sense, he don't got all his marbles." Imagine that, your own mom clowning you on live while you locked up. That's cold street justice. But she wasn't just dragging him. She defended him too, saying King don't mess with nobody unless they come for him first. That's protective mama energy, but also her way of admitting the boy's been making some questionable moves. Here's the kicker though. King was released soon after. The bench warrant got recalled, and he popped up on video like, "I'm a free man, I'm not locked up." Just like that. All that chaos, all that drama, and the boy walked free the next day. But the damage was done. The blogs were posting, the streets were talking, and his reputation took another hit. That's when the internet went crazy. Stories popped up. King sentenced to 5 years, King getting jumped in jail, T.I. begging judges for mercy. All clickbait. But truth? None of that was verified. No credible source ever backed it. The reality? He walked free. End of story. But here's the bigger picture. This whole episode exposed the pressure King's been under. A young blood caught between 2 worlds, the privilege his parents built and the street credibility he feels he needs to earn. Critics call him a wannabe gangster, a clout chaser, someone faking the struggle. And that's got a sting when you're out here trying to carve your own name in the rap game. His arrest also exposed the tension in his family. T.I. himself spoke out, saying if King keep that up, he's going to prison. That's heavy coming from a father who's been through the system himself. It wasn't just tough love. It was prophecy. T.I. knows how fast things can go left, and he knows King's privilege only protects him so far. Keep stacking cases, and not even family ties or top lawyers can save you. The timing couldn't have been worse. This was right when King was trying to establish himself as a serious artist and step into fatherhood. He was expecting his first child with Jania Nana EPS, a moment that should have been about growth and responsibility. Instead, it got overshadowed by legal drama. And that's a common pattern in hip-hop. Young men caught between proving their street credibility and stepping into family responsibilities, often making choices that put both at risk. King's arrest should have been a redemption story moment, but instead it became another cautionary tale about bad decisions. At the core, this isn't just about an arrest. It's about understanding how a kid born into Atlanta royalty ended up trying so hard to prove he belonged to the streets. King Harris, born Clifford Joseph Harris III on August 25, 2004, came into the world with everything set up for him. Growing up in a high-profile family, he was exposed to fame early, starring in VH1's T.I. and Tiny, The Family Hustle from 2011 to 2017. While regular kids were worried about homework and school drama, King was on TV, millions watching him grow up. That kind of spotlight will mess with your head when you're just trying to figure out who you are. And yet, despite all that privilege, King insists he spent time in the trenches, living with his grandmother in rough Atlanta neighborhoods, chasing what he calls real life outside the money and fame. Some say it's fake. Others see it as him trying to connect with his roots, to understand the life his pops lived before the Grammys in Hollywood. That's the story of King Harris, a young man caught between two worlds, fighting for an identity that feels authentic, even when it pushes him closer to the edge.
And in fact, like, a lot of people, I feel like you gotta start putting out the good, like, not that, I feel like you so chill, you don't care about putting out the good.
The music dream started early for King. Influenced by his father's legacy, he began rapping at a young age under the moniker Keaton, a name inspired by Dragon Ball. That's some real anime culture fused with southern trap vibes. From early on, he was dropping tracks, building his social following, and trying to carve out his own lane in an industry where people were already judging him, either expecting him to fail or succeed just because of his last name. But let's talk about the love story that changed everything for this young king. Enter Jania Nana EPS, a young woman from Atlanta who stole King's heart and gave him something real to fight for. Their relationship went public in mid-2024 when rumors spread about EPS being pregnant. This wasn't some staged industry hookup. This was real love, real commitment, and real responsibility creeping into King's life. By August 2024, T.I. himself confirmed on Atlanta's Hot 107.9 radio that King was expecting a son. Imagine that, your pops on live radio telling the whole city about your personal business. But that's what happens when you're born into hip-hop royalty. Your private life becomes public entertainment. The couple went on to celebrate with a baby shower in October 2024, welcoming a boy. And by November, little King Jr. was born into the world. But things didn't stay picture perfect. In January 2025, King went viral on Instagram Live after revealing a surprising twist in his relationship. According to him, EPS allows him to see and be intimate with other women, as long as it stays private and without emotions involved. King described it as being able to cheat in peace. That revelation sparked heated debates online. Some folks called it mature understanding between two adults, others said it was straight-up disrespectful. But at the end of the day, every relationship has its own rules. If they are both cool with it, who are we to judge? Still, King's life ain't just love and family milestones. This young blood has found himself in serious beefs that reveal his hot-headed side. One of the biggest family dramas exploded on November 26, 2023, during an Atlanta Falcons game. King went live on Instagram, clashing with T.I. and Tiny over whether he grew up privileged with a silver spoon. Then in February 2024, King sparked another wave of controversy after comedian Drewski joked about his stand-on-business catchphrase. Instead of laughing it off, King snapped back on Instagram Live, calling Drewski fat and threatening him with violence. "You fat, out-of-shape B*******. I'll beat the F*** out of you." That response crossed a line. Body shaming and threats only made him look insecure and unable to handle criticism, especially when the joke came from a comedian whose entire job is roasting celebrities. Instead of clapping back with humor or brushing it off, King went low, exposing his immaturity. Thankfully, the beef fizzled out, likely because someone in his circle, or his parents, stepped in. But it proved that when King gets heated, he doesn't always think about the consequences until after the damage is done. And who could forget the infamous Waffle House incident from May 2022? King got into a heated verbal argument with staff after an employee refused him service due to a mix-up. We've all been to Waffle House late at night, hungry and frustrated. But King took it way too far, posting videos of himself going off on the employees. That moment went viral for all the wrong reasons, further cementing his image as quick-tempered and entitled.
What do you got against Waffle House?
See, when they made my sandwich, as you can hear in the video, no pickles. And it wasn't the pickles.
The whole Waffle House blow up? Believe it or not, it started over pickles. King ordered a sandwich with no pickles, but when he opened it, there they were. Not just inside either. He claimed they were placed on top, like someone poured water on the sandwich and massaged it around. Disgusted, he let everybody know about it on video. And just like that, a late-night food mix-up turned into another viral controversy. But all these incidents put together paint a bigger picture, a young man wrestling with identity. On one side, King has everything, money, connections, and opportunities most people dream about. On the other, he feels like he has to prove himself. That he can't be soft. That he's got to earn respect in the streets, even though he comes from privilege. Psychologists even got a word for this: affluenza. Not the legal excuse, but the condition where kids from wealthy families struggle with purpose and authenticity because they've never had to fight for survival. They feel guilty about their privilege but don't want to lose it. So sometimes, like King, they try to create struggle where none naturally exists, manufacturing toughness, chasing credibility. To those who've lived the real struggle, though, it comes off as forced. That tension bleeds into his relationship with his parents. T.I. has always raised his kids with discipline, shaped by his own past in the streets and legal troubles. But King pushes back, wanting to make his own mistakes, even if it embarrasses his family publicly. That father-son clash hits different in hip-hop families, where credibility is currency. T.I. earned his respect the hard way: poverty, danger, jail time. How do you pass that kind of authenticity down to a kid who grew up on TV, never worrying about rent or food? By March 2025, though, there were signs of growth. King said he and his father were starting to see eye to eye, comparing their bond to Ghost and Tariq from Power. That's a step forward, acknowledging the clash, but working toward healing. Now, let's look at how the culture responded. Social media had a field day with King Harris's drama. On Twitter, reactions swung between ruthless jokes and genuine concern. Many roasted his attempts to act tough despite being born into wealth, with comments like, "Kid wants to be a street thug so bad. Bro was born to a millionaire father and wants to be a felon so bad." Cold truth, but a truth a lot of people agreed on. The memes came flying too. People comparing King's looks to garlic knots, posting frustrated T.I. reaction gifs, clowning him left and right. But not all of it was jokes. Some voices cut through with compassion, pointing out that King looked like a young man crying out for help, especially with a baby on the way. One user wrote, "This boy's been screaming for help for years, and nobody around him seems to care." On Reddit, the criticism went even deeper. Threads painted him as the ultimate Nepo baby trying to cosplay street life. Fans there weren't buying the tough persona at all. Meanwhile, established artists in hip-hop mostly stayed silent. That silence speaks volumes. If King was truly respected, more people would have spoken up to defend him. Career-wise, the drama casts a long shadow. At 21, King, now performing as Kid Scion, is still building his brand. His 2025 EP Be Ready showed promise, blending trap energy with personal storytelling. But legal troubles limit opportunity. Promoters and labels look at court cases, probation, and travel restrictions as liabilities. Plus, the Nepo baby tag makes audiences question his authenticity, which is deadly in hip-hop. Still, King's got advantages most young rappers don't. A father with Grammy Awards and industry pull. A built-in platform. And controversy, if spun right, can boost profile instead of killing it. The August 2025 release of bodycam footage from his arrest confirmed the weed and gun details, but added no new charges. Still, seeing that clip disappointed fans hoping he'd mature. His stand on business persona is both fuel and fire. It draws young supporters who vibe with the energy, but it also sets him up for brutal criticism when his actions don't live up to the talk. Even his brand is on shaky ground. He built his online image around being real, tough, and street-connected. But when that image keeps colliding with courtrooms, beefs, and family drama, it starts looking less like credibility and more like reckless decision-making. But here's the flip side. Becoming a father might save him. The birth of his son in late 2024 gave him something bigger than himself. Fans love a redemption story. If King can turn these struggles into music that's more mature, more reflective, he could flip the narrative from downfall to comeback. And beyond King himself, this story highlights a bigger trend. What happens when second-generation rappers chase authenticity? We're seeing more rap kids step into the spotlight. Lil Wayne's son, Master P.S. Kids, and now King Harris. They face a unique pressure. The world already knows their last name, but questions their struggle. That skepticism could even change how labels scout artists in the future, leaning harder on real stories over celebrity connections. Misinformation also played a huge role here. Gossip blogs and YouTubers spread unverified claims, 5-year sentences, jail beatings, T.I. begging judges. That never happened. Thousands believed it anyway, showing how clickbait can twist reputations overnight. At the heart of all this is family. T.I.'s tough love approach, calling out his son's behavior publicly but still supporting him, reflects the challenge of being a hip-hop parent. How do you guide your kid away from the same mistakes you once made, while letting him find his own path? That's the delicate balance T.I. is walking. So where does that leave King? At 21, he's still got time. He's got a son, a platform, and a shot to flip the script. Hip-hop has always loved comeback stories. If he can take accountability, grow, and channel all this drama into powerful music, his career could rise from this chaos. But the real test is what comes next. Will King keep chasing street validation through reckless choices? Or will he evolve into an artist who speaks honestly about the struggle of identity, privilege, and pressure in hip-hop? One thing's for sure. The culture will be watching every step, ready to roast, support, or call cap. That's the price of being hip-hop royalty.